Here's the part we're going to dimension for today's assignment. Let's say that you've drawn your part. Here I've drawn my copy. And now you want to put dimensions on it. The first thing you should do is figure out what scale you want to scale this part at. So before we get the dimensions going, let's go to paper space. Let's go to the B size layout and get that set up. Here's my paper space. There's part of my part. Now let's get it set up right. I'm going to open my viewport. I'm going to double click inside, but I could also go down here to this tab and switch back and forth between model and paper. I'll double click. Notice it switched to model. Also notice that some more stuff appeared on the taskbar that isn't there when you're in paper space. Anyway, here's my viewport open. Now, I'm lucky enough that I can see part of my object already, so I can just pan over here and try and get it centered. If I could not see any of my object, what I like to do is zoom, and I don't know about you, but I like to type Z enter for zoom, and this option right here, E for extents, will zoom you to the full extents of whatever it was you drew. So if you can't see anything in your drawing at all, type Z enter, E enter, zoom extents, and it will zoom out to the full extents of your geometry that you made. All right, so here's mine. How's my scale? Not good. It's not a real scale, so let me drop down this drop-down list or drop-up list. Let me just try 1:1 and see if that will fit. Oh, hooray, it will. I think I'm going to have my viewport scale be 1:1. So now, before I do anything else, I'm going to close that viewport. Either click this model tab to switch it to paper, or double click outside. There. Now my viewport is closed, just like closing and locking the window. Now I can't mess it up with my panning and zooming. Now I will go back to model space and think about putting dimensions on here. So I'll click that model tab. We typically dimension in model space, and I've just been reading a big AutoCAD book, something like 1,200-page book called AutoCAD Instructor, that says you should dimension in model space unless you've got multiple viewports and you're doing something squirrely, which we're not. All right, so we're in our home ribbon. I'm going to put on dimensions, so I need to select my dimension layer. That will make my lines be a thin line weight. And let me start putting on dimensions. Now, I have to think about in which view am I going to do what? I need to dimension a feature in the view where it appears true size and shape. So the key one to think about is this notch right here. The only view where that notch appears true size and shape is the top view. I cannot dimension it in the front view nor in the side view. So let me start there. And the question is, in what view do I want to put the width, and in what view do I want to put the height, and all that sort of thing. So let me just try something. I want to show you something, and then maybe I will undo that. So here we are in our home ribbon, and here is a panel that is about annotation. Annotation means text and dimensions. You're annotating your drawing. And here in the annotation panel, there's a drop-down list with dimensions in it. Depending on what you've been doing previously, like if you were doing a dimension for a diameter previously, you might say, hey, where's my straight across dimension? Well, you just drop down that arrow, and yay, there it is underneath, linear. Make sure you have O-snaps turned on. Really, almost any time you do anything, make sure you have O-snaps turned on. Now, let's say I wanted to dimension the width of that notch. I'm going to snap, see the endpoint O-snap? I'm going to snap there, and I'm going to snap at the other corner I want. They're not lined up, but that's okay. And now, if I pull out to the side, I get that depth dimension. If I pull straight up and down, I get the width dimension. So that's very good. I think I will put my dimension here. All right. Now, let me get a dimension again. Dimension was the last command I used, so if I hit enter right now, boink, the dimension command will come up again. All right. Now, what about the how far away from the object we need to be? Do you remember that we need to be at least 0.4 away? Let me try this. So there I've clicked my two endpoints. Now, it says, notice in the command line it says specify dimension line location. And if I've got my cursor, my dynamic cursor box turned on, it's got a place where I can type a distance. Watch what happens if I type 0.4, which is the minimum I could be. That looks pretty darn close, doesn't it? And it looks to me like in this drawing, I would probably like my dimensions to be farther than 0.4. So I think I will just pull that out farther. Now I could get another dimension. I just hit enter and my command came up again. I'll O-snap to this point and this endpoint. And now I can dimension the, what do you call it, the depth, the 2-inch depth. So now I've taken care of the depth and I've taken care of the notch. I've dimensioned the notch in both the X and Y directions. Now what do I want to do? What about the thickness of this leg on this L angle and the thickness up here? Remember that you should dimension a feature in the view where it appears true size and shape. Well, that means for this L thingy, I need to dimension it in this front view. And I think while I'm at it, I will dimension the height in this front view. Ah, there. Now how about the thickness of this vertical leg? The only place where that appears true size and shape is up here in the front view, so I'd better put that there. Do I have everything I need? I've got the height, the thickness. I've got the, oh, I don't have the width side to side. So I'd better go, I could put this in either view, but I guess I will put it in my front view. Clicking on the two O-snaps. All right, so now I've got the width and the width, the height and the height, the depth and the depth. I've got the notch taken care of. I've got everything taken care of. And as it turned out, I didn't necessarily need to have this side view. I could have done without it if I wanted to. maybe I want to move one of these dimensions over here. Maybe I want to move that 2-inch dimension over here. I don't think I do because let me undo. I like to have all these width and notch related dimensions together. I think it makes it easier for our fabricator to see how these sizes all relate to each other. So this is okay. What is not okay is that it's all just kind of uneven. I don't have the spacing even. I don't have things lined up. So now, you know what I sometimes do is I will just pick some standard spacing. Like, let's say I'm going to do 3/4 away from the part and 3/4 away from the part and 3/4 away from the part. If I wanted to do an even spacing, I might try that. It's going to be crowded. I might try 1/2 inch. I'm going to run out of time here maybe. Offset 0.5. Okay, so I'll go 0.5, 0.5, and I'll try to line up all these dimensions the same distance apart. And maybe I'll even go, instead of 0.5 and 1/4, maybe I'll even go 0.5 and 0.5. Why not? What I want to do is get everything all uniform, and it will make a big difference in how my drawing looks. So now that's my guideline. I'm going to click on this dimension, the grips light up. I'll click on this grip again a second time so it becomes a hot grip, and I'll move that dimension, escape. Now I'll click on this dimension, click on the grip again so it becomes hot, and move it to this guideline. And now I'll try to get in there and select my guideline and erase it, because I don't want that. Okay. Then these dimensions, click on the dimension, click the grip again, move it down there, click on this dimension, this dimension, click the grip again, move it up there. Okay. Erase those temporary lines. Now move up here, click on this dimension, grip again, move it up there. This dimension, click the grip again, move it there. Click this dimension, click the grip again, move it there. And get my temporary lines out of there. And now look how my drawing looks different. Things look uniform. I feel like these dimensions in between the views are too close together, so I would go back and either move these dimensions closer to the part or grab the top view and move it farther away, because those are too crowded. But otherwise, that's a pretty good looking drawing.